Before the ABC, News Corp announced most of its local community and regional newspapers would no longer be published right around the country. Some staff moved to online, but many others just had to walk out the door. Online sites have closed, television networks have trimmed staff, and our major paid television sports channel, Fox Sports, has shed more than 100 dedicated staff. In some cases, entire sporting programs just disappeared overnight. Australian Associated Press, which is our newswire that for decades has reported on the smaller sports that nobody else would cover, was facing total closure until a group of investors offered to buy the business and has at least saved some of those jobs. Our biggest leagues with major television broadcast deals have found themselves in a no-win situation, with networks now refusing to pay the agreed amount, even when competition has resumed. Sports are finding their fees being wound back to the tune of millions of dollars, setting off a downward spiral for the entire industry. In Australia, sport is worth between 2 and 3% of our GDP. It contributes around $15 billion to Australia's economy and has about 250,000 people employed in full-time jobs. That is now being eaten away. Some smaller sports may die altogether, while some junior teams, even from our most popular sports, may also disappear, as the cost to play remains the same, but too many families are finding they don't have work to support their kids playing anymore. While it's devastating for sports journalists to be caught up in this, the real tragedy lies in the fact that Australia's reputation as a sports-loving country, an outdoor country where kids love to play 2 or 3 or 4 sports a week, is disappearing. COVID-19's legacy is that Australia's sporting culture, including sports media, will be changed forever. Ironically, even as our government is praised for acting swiftly and efficiently with infection rates kept low, and the sad loss of life that we've seen all around the world has been kept to a minimum here in Australia, the economic impact has been severe. Media organisations are more often forming partnerships with sports, meaning it is in both their interest to talk up the sport. Critical coverage is rarely encouraged. Like others, journalists are being asked to do more for less, sometimes for nothing. Lines are being blurred. Journalists become publicists, publicists become fans. So where does this leave us? The reward for strong independent journalism is a strong independent society, because who but journalists will hold power to account? When you weaken journalism, you weaken society. While COVID-19 might not be entirely responsible, it has certainly accelerated the retreat from this position. Under the guise of COVID-19, governments, sports, and media corporations have made significant change. In days gone by, we might have said that the goalposts have shifted. That's no longer the case. Now we are playing on an entirely new field, a field where the rules are being rewritten. We must play a part in writing those new rules, lest they be written for us. I hope to see you in 2023, if not beforehand, in Tokyo 2021. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Tracy. And Tracy was the last panelist. I want to thank to all of the panelists who take part in this conference, because they were really good. Now, let's talk a little bit about AIPS Young Reporter program. During the coronavirus, we started our e-college. One of the mentors was Riccardo Romani. Riccardo, how was it?
Thank you, Yura. It was a very amazing experience, and it proves one point. One stereotype that I really hate is when colleagues of my age or even older, they tell me, well, the young reporters, they don't share the same passion